Hello, my name is Natalie and today we're speaking English. You know that in Ukraine, children have to pass a kind of final test after finishing school, and in Ukrainian it sounds like ZNO. I hope that you've got to know what does it consist of. It consists of 4 parts: listening, then reading and use of English, and then writing. Today we will try to imitate this activity here in class, and we will start from listening. Last year, children distinguished this kind of activity as the most difficult for completing because maybe they were not ready for doing this. What have you do before the exam? First of all, of course, you have to learn a lot of new words. The more you know, the more you understand. So you have to read a lot. It would be great if you could read aloud. Also, it would be great if you could stream the film online or perform different tasks on different sites, maybe even osvita.ua, which is the official site for preparation for ZNO. During the exam, even if you are given the task which you don't know what to do, first of all, of course, don't be panic. You should focus on your questions and think over what you can do in this or that situation. First of all, you have to read through the all tasks attentively and underline all the words and all the key phrases which you suppose can help you in your future choice. Then you will listen to the text twice. While listening for the first time, you have to choose those options which you think are correct. And while listening for the second time, you have to check all the answers you gave. Is it okay? Okay, nice. Now I'll give you some tasks which will imitate one of the tasks from the ZNO. We will listen through the text and we'll try to do this task step by step as I explained you before. Is it okay? Yes. Okay, good. Here you are. You have one task, which is the ZNO task, and 5 variants for your answers. Well, I told you that first of all, you have to read through all these options which you are given. Okay? The first task is, you have to say, what was Dylan Watson surprised by? You're reading, Dylan Watson was surprised by the Australian statistics according to which. So you have to underline, Dylan Watson was surprised by Australian statistics. Yes? This is the information you are looking for in the text. Next question, what is the worst consequences of the problem discussed? Consequences means the result of some activity. So you have to underline the worst consequence. Next point, according to Dylan Watson, again, underline Dylan Watson, because you are looking for his opinion. Domestic helplessness is caused by. Domestic helplessness means being not able to do some activities at home. They mean maybe washing up, cleaning the floor, or washing your clothes. Next, the family mentioned by Dylan Watson, underline family, because that's the key word for this very question. Mentioned by Dylan Watson again. Probably it's the main character of the text you will be listening to. And the next task, Dylan Watson quotes the story too. So why Dylan Watson quotes this story? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's listen for the first time.
Let me introduce Dylan Watson, a man who has spent the last 3 years researching so-called teenage household behavior. Welcome, Dylan.
Hello, everyone.
Why this area of research? Everybody knows that teenagers detest doing housework, so what is there to discover?
How little teenagers can be counted on and how much of a disservice they're doing to themselves. Once I was working on an article when I stumbled upon some Australian statistics regarding how much time modern teenagers dedicate to helping around the house and what they were actually able to do in comparison with the previous, more concerned generations. I was thrown by the findings, which clearly showed that an average 19-year-old who is about to turn into an adult knows next to nothing about how to carry out basic household duties.
Why is that such a problem? Teenagers are busy with their schoolwork. This seems to be their household duty in this day and age.
What you said reflects the parents' attitude too, and that's a huge problem.
Why exactly?
To start with, there's a generation after generation of young people who are unable to do such elementary tasks as loading a dishwasher. A bit worrying, isn't it? Secondly, parents are left alone to look after the house, but the most damaging is that the less parents require of teenagers, the less independent the children become. So, when they move in with their own partner, they won't be prepared to do things around the house. This may lead to tensions and even a divorce, some therapists say.
Lack of some basic life skills, isn't it?
Lack of self-sufficiency or over-reliance on others, more like it. We call it the epidemic of domestic helplessness. And it's down to parents who are to blame here to stop this. All it takes is to get their teenager used to, for example, cooking a meal once a week. This will only make life easier for grown-up children when they leave the nest.
How true. I'm 28 and I can't cook well or iron my clothes properly. So what can be done?
I've heard of a family who are eager to make the switch from urban to rural life. The parents took lessons from local farmers, which their son refused to turn up for. Soon the son had no choice but to watch his parents grow vegetables and breed animals. When encouraged by his dad to help out, the boy would object. So the father adopted a policy that if the boy needed his parents' help with anything, he had to do some chores around the farm. Like it or not, the boy learned more than he probably wanted. And, surprise, surprise, he's a successful organic farmer himself, earning a fortune.
Wow, what a story.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you, Dylan.
You're welcome.
Okay. Have you chosen anything? Well, you will have possibility to listen to the text for the second time.
Hello, let me introduce Dylan Watson, a man who has spent the last 3 years researching so-called teenage household behaviour. Welcome, Dylan.
Hello, everyone.
Why this area of research? Everybody knows that teenagers detest doing housework, so what is there to discover?
How little teenagers can be counted on and how much of a disservice they're doing to themselves. Once I was working on an article when I stumbled upon some Australian statistics regarding how much time modern teenagers dedicate to helping around the house and what they were actually able to do in comparison with the previous, more concerned generations. I was thrown by the findings, which clearly showed that an average 19-year-old who is about to turn into an adult knows next to nothing about how to carry out basic household duties.
Why is that such a problem? Teenagers are busy with their schoolwork. This seems to be their household duty in this day and age.
What you said reflects the parents' attitude too, and that's a huge problem.
Why exactly?
To start with, there's a generation after generation of young people who are unable to do such elementary tasks as loading a dishwasher. A bit worrying, isn't it? Secondly, parents are left alone to look after the house, but the most damaging is that the less parents require of teenagers, the less independent the children become. So, when they move in with their own partner, they won't be prepared to do things around the house. This may lead to tensions and even a divorce, some therapists say.
Lack of some basic life skills, isn't it?
Lack of self-sufficiency or over-reliance on others, more like it. We call it the epidemic of domestic helplessness. And it's down to parents who are to blame here to stop this. All it takes is to get their teenager used to, for example, cooking a meal once a week. This will only make life easier for grown-up children when they leave the nest.
How true. I'm 28 and I can't cook well or iron my clothes properly. So what can be done?
I've heard of a family who are eager to make the switch from urban to rural life. The parents took lessons from local farmers, which their son refused to turn up for. Soon the son had no choice but to watch his parents grow vegetables and breed animals. When encouraged by his dad to help out, the boy would object. So the father adopted a policy that if the boy needed his parents' help with anything, he had to do some chores around the farm. Like it or not, the boy learnt more than he probably wanted. And, surprise, surprise, he's a successful organic farmer himself, earning a fortune.
Wow, what a story.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you, Dylan.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's look through your answers. The first question was, Dylan Watson was surprised by the Australian statistics, according to which, and the correct answer is, teenagers carry out almost no household duties nowadays. The main character told that teenagers do not like to do anything at home. Next question, what is the worst consequence of the problem discussed? And the correct answer was the fact that teenagers lack self-reliance. This word self-reliance sounded in the text. Next, according to Dylan Watson, domestic helplessness is caused by parents. The correct answer is C. Parents' inability to enforce certain rules at home because parents didn't make them do anything at home. And the family. There was a story about a family who changed their place of living because they was out of choice. The correct variant was B. And the last one, the conclusion of this story, that the son from this family became a successful businessman, a successful farmer. So, the story demonstrates how certain skills may unexpectedly become useful. That was the correct variant. Okay, next part in the ZNO test is called reading. Reading is also not very simple. It's not so complicated as listening, but today we'll speak about the task which is the longest in the ZNO test. It was task number 2 until the last year. Last year it was called the task number 6 in the ZNO test. The text is the longest. It's nearly 1/3 long. And it has only 5 questions for this text. How to prepare for reading? First of all, of course, you have to read a lot. Yeah? When you read a lot, you develop your reading skills. You have to read a lot, maybe on the internet, maybe from the textbooks from your school, maybe on the textbooks which are supposed to be used during the preparation for ZNO. Then you have to complete the task from ZNO, even on the website osvita.ua, because this is the only official site for preparation before the ZNO. Of course, don't be panic when you open your tasks. And the steps are like this. First of all, don't read the whole text before you read the questions. Well, you will waste your time. Then you should start from the questions. All questions are logically composed. It means then, when you give answer for the first question, you can move to the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth. Okay? And the same situation with the text. If you have found the answer for the first question in the first paragraph, so the second answer can be in the second or in the third, not before, just after. Okay? That's the rule. But you know that in English there are more exceptions than the rules. So the only trap which is in the ZNO test is that sometimes the last questions contain the words except, as you see here. It may be not, yeah? It may be the author says, it is mentioned in the text. It means that the last questions concern the whole text, not the last paragraph. Well, now we'll read this text, okay? I will read aloud, and we will try to find the answers for the questions. Do you remember that first we must read the first question and then try to find the answer, okay? Good. The State House in London is known because of, yes? We underline the State House in London because it's a house which we have to find in the text, yeah? It's known because its stories mean floors, how many floors are in the house, then unique constructing design, you know the word unique because it's Latin and we have Ukrainian word like this, its height, it's mean again how tall is the building, or its timber floors. Timber means wooden floors. So, again, the State House in London is known because, yeah? Let's try to find the answer. Using timber in the building reduced its carbon load by 310 tons compared to an equivalent building made from concrete reinforced with steel. No information? No. As far as is known, the State House in London, you see, we have found the name. Murray Grove is the world's tallest residential building made from wood. So, it's the tallest residential building, but the title says us that it's only 9 stories. Is it a surprise that the building has 9 stories? No, because there are a lot of them. But it's made from wood. This is a surprise, yeah? So, maybe its stories, it's not correct. Unique constructing design also, it's high, just timber floors. Because if the house is made of wood, so it's wooden floors, it's timber floors is the correct answer. Do you agree? Yeah, good. Next question. The architect's straw. To use, what does it mean straw? They want to do something, yeah? To use as much timber as possible, timber is wood, we remember, then to experiment with timber panels, to make some tests maybe with panels, to reduce the use of concrete. Concrete is specific material used in building, and to be more eco-friendly. Eco-friendly means ecological. Okay, let's read. Designed by Worth Thistleton architects, its loading-bearing walls are made from cross-laminated solid timber panels. The stair and lift cores, as well as the floor slabs, are also made from wood. Have you found any information? No. Next, Worth Thistleton architects. This is architects, yeah? We are looking for the opinion of the architects. Say that they strive to design buildings which reduce the human impact on the planet. So, architects strive, is the second form, past simple, of the verb to strive. So, that's the information we're looking for. To design buildings which reduce human impact, which make the human impact lower, so, which make the human impact ecologically. So, answer D is correct here. Next question. Worth Thistleton architects experiment with timber because. So why did they do it? Yes, it's a good isolating material. It requires much energy. It is not damaged. It replaces steel. Steel is metal. Well, let's read. Therefore, we see it as vital not to consider the energy used over the life of the building, but also the energy expended in producing the building, says Mr. Keeson Hargett, project architect for State House. So, for some years, Worth Thistleton architects have researched the use of solid timber structures to replace steel and concrete in housing. We met the words replace steel and concrete in the houses. Have you met that in Question 8, just steel, yeah? So, answer D is correct. Then, the speed was achieved, got, yeah? With prefabricated panels, okay, panels are important, with platform construction, everything is okay, due to a great number of workmen, people who work there, yeah? Due to the accurate measurements. Well, timber sequesters 8 tons of carbon per 1 cubic meter and is a renewable material. In comparison, the production of both concrete and steel are one-way, energy-intensive processes that releases large amounts of carbon dioxide into atmosphere. Is how Haggard explains the reason behind their interest in wood. Have you found information? No. The 9 stories of the State House were assembled in 9 weeks. 9 weeks, that's the period the building was constructed, which was significantly faster faster, its speed, yeah, than could have been achieved with an alternative material. The speed was possible thanks to panels that were prefabricated down to the window and door openings. So, which answer was correct? A. Prefabricated panels. Good. And the last questions, it's a trap in the reading text, yeah? Everything in the state house is made from wood, except the walls, the windows, the floor, the stair and lift. Yeah? While reading the text, in the second paragraph, we read about walls, about stair and lift, and about floor slabs. Only windows were not mentioned in the text. So, except the windows. That was the correct answer, B. Okay, thanks. Thanks. Now we'll try to learn something about the last part of this test. It concerns grammar. Of course, we cannot learn all the grammar in one lesson, but today we will speak about difference between present simple and present continuous. This is the most useful tenses in English. Yes, I will give you 2 examples. I work at the university, yeah, and I'm working at the university. The first sentence means that I'm a teacher, yes, and every day I go to my place of working, go to the university. And the second sentence, I'm working at the university, means that I'm working right now, yes? These are different sentences, and they means different things in English, okay? So, what's the difference? First of all, of course, the sentences look differently. I work and I'm working, these are different sentences, yeah? And the first sentence, I work, is correctly used when I speak about the permanent state, repeated actions or daily routines, that every day I go to the university, yeah? Every day this guy, for example, takes the bus to his place of working. Next situation, when we speak about general truth, for example, the sun always sets in the west, not in the east, yeah? Also, we use present simple when we speak about the timetables of the planes and trains, because they leave, yeah, different stations or airports at the same time every week. Next, we use present simple for sport commentaries, reviews, and narration, when different TV presenters comments on the different sport events. And the last situation, when we give instruction. I always said you that you have to read, you have to listen, yeah? That's present simple. Present continuous, first of all, is used for actions taking place now, at the moment of speaking, yes? I am speaking, you are listening. Then, for temporary action, that is actions that are going on around now, but not at the actual moment. For example, you are studying at the university nearly this period, yeah? Nearly today, but not, that doesn't mean now. Then, with adverbs such as always, constantly, continually, if you're angry about this. For example, my neighbors are always building something in the yard, It means that I'm angry that my neighbors are constantly doing something near my house. And the last one, for actions that we are planning before. For example, on Saturday, I'm visiting my granny. Even in Ukrainian, we use present tense, yeah? В суботу я їду до бабці. So, this is present continuous in English. The only exception are so-called stative verbs. Stative verbs are verbs which means different kinds of likes, dislikes, emotions, feelings, or perceptions. For example, if you love somebody or something, you cannot say I'm loving it, yes? We always use I love it, or I believe in it, or I trust it. Okay, that's only present simple. Let's try some tests in order to understand whether you know it or not. You have only 2 options to choose from, but on the Zeno you will have 4 options for every question, okay? The first one, we have some omitted word maybe, and next skiing in the French Alps every year. We have the phrase every year. It means that we have to use present simple. Which variant will be correct? We go or we are going? We go. We go because we do it every year. Well, next situation. One of the Agatha Christie's book at the moment. at the moment means that we have to use present continuous. I read or I'm reading? I'm reading. Great job. Some modern cars on unleaded petrol. Unleaded petrol and cars always use petrol, yeah? So run or are running? Run. Present simple, that's fact, okay? The St. Lawrence River into the North Atlantic. River and North Atlantic. Is it permanent action? Maybe it's general truth or law of nature, yeah? Because the river flows, just flows into North Atlantic. Next one, where is the cat on the sofa? It lies or it is lying? It is lying now on the sofa, because next moment maybe he will be lying under the sofa, yeah, or in the next room. Next sentence, drive carefully. Heavily this morning, it snows heavily or it is snowing heavily. If we say drive carefully, it means that we are speaking about present moment. So it's snowing heavily this morning. Next phrase, be careful, the ladder down. Yeah, omitted word falls or the phrase is falling. So be careful, the ladder falls down, or be careful, the ladder is falling down. Is falling because the phrase be careful shows us that we are speaking about present moment. Okay, thank you for today. I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.